All right, this should be a best of. Oh, it's a best of 5. Oh, typical. So it's going to be control map first. Here, I don't know. I don't know if you have the rule book or care to see it. Yeah, no, I think we got about 3 minutes till it goes live, and then we can. What we'll probably do is then once it goes live, you can go ahead. I got an intro written up. We'll do some. It all begins here. The postseason. 8 teams will face off, and only one will be crowned champion. Only a few years ago, UNI defied all odds and won their division of GG Leagues. This year, UNI Overwatch has a tall order, where UNI barely made it past the cutoff for the playoff teams and will face the number 1 ranked opponent in Central 7. Hello, UNI Panther fans and Overwatch fans alike. Welcome to the quarterfinal matchup in Central 7 for NECC, where your 8th ranked UNI Panthers from Cedar Falls, Iowa, will face off against the #1 Northwestern College JV Red Raiders from Orange City, Iowa. Thank you for joining us on your Wednesday night. My name is Hunter. Joining me in the booth and production is Deep Sea. How are you doing tonight, Deep Sea? Exactly. Of course, UNI starting the season pretty rough, going 0-3. However, they quickly turned it around and ended the season with 4 wins and 3 losses. However, Northwestern only has 1 loss to Wayne State College, who ended 2nd in Central A. So it's going to be a great day for some Overwatch, Deep Sea. And we're starting off on Samoa. I know you are still part of the team. Do you like Samoa? Do you not like Samoa? What's your thoughts? I'm also going to be interested to see what kind of compositions we're going to see here. Typically, UNI, when they come out on a Samoa, we will see roadkill on the Ramatra. Really expect that. Same thing with effort. So as we look at today's starters, your UNI Panthers are going to be playing Totoro, Mr. Sirclaps, Roadkill, XNL, and Doomrad. While the Red Raiders will have Meek, Ubelli, Effort, Van Kuncho, and Amino. And already UNI gonna go ahead and meet them at the little upper part where Effort will go ahead and try and get some damage poked off and create that space, which allows them to drop. And already XNL is going to go ahead and go down. Meek able to follow it up as well as Mr. Sirclaps goes down. And a really nice May wall placed as Effort will go ahead, break through. And so far, the first ticks will go for Northwestern. So far, Effort's, again, going to create that space. I believe it's all going to come down to the tank play here. Of course, Roadkill really good as Effort's going to go into Nemesis mode, get flanked out behind, and gets taken out. So a really good job by this Northwestern team. So we're kind of taking the space and getting the picks that they need to. Vacancho able to go ahead and get another member of UNI, Mr. Sirclaps, which, according to Totoro before the match, we should be expecting a lot of Ramatra, a lot of May, a lot of Sojourn. So far, this team playing to their strengths as 52% sticked over. UNI still trying to find an answer. So, Deep Sea, what does UNI need to do here to basically get the first ticks over for them? Hopefully they can do that as Doomrad's already able to take out a handful of Red Raiders. Going to go ahead and contest the point. 81% ticked over. Effort's finally going to go down. Mr. Sirclaps on the Ash, able to get the clicks on that one. And UNI will go ahead and get their first ticks of Samoa. 88% so far for Northwestern. And also another thing to keep in mind, the Red Raiders do have 4 ults that they have in the back pocket as a nice Maywall comes out right in front of Roadkill. Meek gonna go ahead, overclock. XNL goes down, and as the Red Raiders seem to push in, biding their time, only a few ults have been committed. Now Effort's gonna go ahead and commit the Annihilation, trying to take that space as more members of UNI go down. And a quick little replay here right there for Northwestern. Nino going ahead and taking out Doomrad, but UNI does get the overtime ticks over. Gonna have to make something happen here on offense. It's gonna be a 4v4 on point. Bob will come out for UNI. Mr. Circlap's able to pick up Ubelly. And a very nice retake for UNI. Orbital Ray comes out for UNI. Again, still trying to stem the tide here as overtime will tick over again. Effort able to go ahead, create the space, get the final kills, and point one on control will go for Northwestern. Now, the biggest thing here that I would really like to see is UNI maybe swap off of the Ramatra, maybe look into a Zarya play. I'd hate to say that. However, Effort is doing such a valiant job taking the space, swapping to Nemesis mode when he needs to, and a big shout out to Ubelly, able to get the walls off and basically take out a very aggressive roadkill. And as we begin point two, maybe Northwestern will go ahead and seal the deal here. Meek will go ahead, get the right click overclock on Mr. Circlaps on the Tracer. Ubelly's gonna go ahead and try to force down roadkill. Can he get away? He's down to 1 HP, but Effort able to get the consolation on Doomrad. Effort, though, finally taking out the back line of XNL on the Ana, who typically has a lot of good purples with that bio grenade. However, we have yet to see that a factor in the series. As initial points tick over 25% for the Red Raiders. Would really like to see them focus on effect here. He's down to half health. Nice little play around the corner. Lot of healing being done for this Red Raider team, and it's basically gonna come down to the support play. As Totoro finally able to take out Effort. UNI is going to press W here. Meek, though, taking out Mr. Circlaps in the background. And the Blizzard coming out as well. XNL going down. Overclock for Totoro. Can he find one? Yes! However, gets taken out by Von Kuncho. But Roadkill with 2. He's going to go ahead and 1v1 effect on point. Gonna see if he can make something here. Nemesis mode comes out. Needs support here. Big sleep coming out from XNL. And Roadkill able to secure the first points for their team on point 2. What'd you like from that, Deep Sea? Roadkill, Beat, and Overclock all come out. XNL is going to go ahead and boost as well. Roadkill, finally, in Annihilation, takes out Effort, and he's going to continue to press W. And 41% ticked over for the Panthers, hopefully looking for a reverse sweep scenario. And a really good cycle of ultimates, I feel, Deep. see if Everett's going to use it this team fight. He's going to get crowded into a corner. And just like you said, Deep Sea, here comes Effort. He's got 2. Meek's got 2 as well. And finally, the first team kill of the series will be handed to Northwestern. 91% ticked over. Red Raiders trying to fend off the Panthers and take game 1. Meek already taking out XNL. UNI is going to make it on point. Roadkill's half health. He's going to work around the side. It's going to have to come down to Bob on the point. He's going to split off. However, a Blizzard able to be on point, able to freeze out half of UNI. And right like that, when I thought the Red Raiders were not going to take that point, Effort was getting low on HP. And with a few key ultimates, Northwestern able to go ahead and take map 1 of Samoa.
Play of the game.
Suffer as I have.
Yeah, I completely agree. I just feel like at the end of the day, Effort was the one who just created the space for him and allowed Meek to be able to work around, all that space and was able to get into the back line. I know that's one thing that I noticed a lot of is that XNL or, Mr. Circlaps either getting picked out pretty early, and I feel like that sustain was a lot more valuable in those longer team fights that we saw. And I feel like that's also what benefited Northwestern for this win. Yeah, and the title screen needs a fix. So we'll get that figured out. But I appreciate everyone joining us today for postseason play in the NECC Central 7. So while we are in between maps, go ahead, do exclamation point merch. That'll take you to our Guardian Pro line, where we have a decent selection of t-shirts, hoodies, and fully customizable jerseys that you can go ahead and get for yourself and rep on and off campus to support your UNI Panthers. So go ahead, go to Guardian Pro line and support the Panthers today. So another thing that we have to keep in mind here is that this is a best of 5, first to 3 matchup. The winner today will be facing against SVSU Red, who finished in Central A as the 3rd team. They are currently the 5th seed and got the upset against Iowa State JV in their quarterfinal matchup a few days ago. So hopefully UNI can also pull an upset here, but they got a tall order ahead of them, Deep Sea. No, you're perfectly fine, man. I would also be curious to see as Doane Tigers getting the upset against Indiana Hoosiers. Got a 3-0 in that regard. So the Hoosiers must have had an off day. And also looking in Central 7, Wayne State College, the 2nd seed in Central A, defeating Washtenaw Community College, getting a 3-2 victory there. So two of the 4 quarterfinals matchups going to a game 5. Gonna hopefully see if UNI can tip the scales here and hit their groove going. I know we talked with the players beforehand, and they were in really good spirits, especially considering the matchup that they had. Really hyped, really excited to be in another postseason tournament. So hopefully they can go ahead and continue the run here.
I'm gonna bother you guys real quick, just letting you know we can only hear one commentator in production. Both of you guys are on Do Not Disturb, so that's very nice to see my messages. But we can only hear you, Jaeger, on commentary right now.
Or are you
And
getting
I
that
have
one?
fixed that.
That
Yep,
deep?
we should be perfectly
You fi-
good now.
Alright, awesome. I was like,
Gotta wait for the
both of them are
3-minute
D&D.
delay now.
I'll stick in here just in case, and I'll be out of y'all ears once I hear that.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, Mr. Brewer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Deep Sea, we have now going into map 2, have the selection of hybrid or escort. If so, you and I will get to pick the map mode, and they picked hybrid, so we've already got a pick. So it's hybrid. The ban was on Midtown. Then you and I selected Numbani, and it looks like Northwestern will be playing defense. So it's going to be attack on Numbani. What is your thoughts, Deep Sea?
Attack on Numbani is going to be interesting to see. The swap in tank will be also interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to predict their strategy this time. I have no idea what I'll see out the gate here. I don't know if they're gonna try to mix something up after last round. Who knows?
Yeah, the last time that we saw Numbani, I believe, was against Louisville in that 3-0 win. And I think what you and I ended up using was, I believe it was a Ramatra, maybe an Orisa. It's going to be hard thinking back all the way back to week 3, but they were able to take out, I think the key player in that matchup was also their tank in that matchup against Louisville. So would really like to see Roadkill really step up and really hammer home on why he's a starter tonight. If he can go ahead and get that space that he needs, of course, it's all going to come down to also effort. But it looks like we are going to have some swaps. It is going to be Unlasting, going to move from DPS, moving to support, and XNL going to go ahead stay as support. So Doomrad will go ahead and be on the bench for that. So maybe we're going to see another Ana play, but Unlasting probably going to play the Zenyatta. Typically we see Unlasting on the DPS role, usually playing some sort of hit scan. However, we should be expecting a Zenyatta from his support play.
Ready for battle.
And just as you called it.
Nah, I can do my job sometimes.
Got the research going on.
I guess I did my job. And interesting to see here a Winston coming out from Effort. What do you think about a Winston pick here on Numbani?
I think that they also did their research. I think that the Winston is going to be kind of well supported by this Ana hanging all the way in the back line over here. I feel like they're going to try to go for that one support, see if they can win the fight off of that.
5, 4.
Yeah, UNI really struggles against the dive composition. I'm kind of seeing a pseudo dive here from Effort and Ubelli. Might play a factor. but Roadkill back on the Ramatra. XNL on the Juno. Really like this support duo. Gonna have to lean on Unlasting, getting a couple of the headshots as Effort's gonna go ahead and go on. Dive on point. Unlasting's down low. And Mr. Surclaps gonna be taken out on the Genji. Typically we would see Unlasting on the Genji here. And Effort already taken out. Again, members in the back lane. Both supports go down for UNI. As Roadkill again just trying to defend on point. Now Unlasting gonna go ahead swap to the Kiriko. I would expect Roadkill to maybe swap. The JQ.
A JQ swap is interesting
JQ.
here.
Yeah, why is that?
I think they're looking to punish the Winston. Obviously, shotgun mentality on a big hero is going to work well for them. I'm just kind of seeing if they can rush that back line, get there on a, make sure she's out of position.
And Roadkill and UNI is going to wrap all the way back around. Here comes the dive in from Effort. Gets the jagged knife strike. And a really clean disengage by Effort. He's going to go ahead, dive back. And with 2:15 left to play on the point, UNI finally gets the first ticks over. It's going to be a fight on point. XNL, though, with torpedoes, able to get it done. Roadkill finally able to take out Effort. Finally with a win column for the tank there for UNI. And a really nice retake for UNI. Just sort of kind of staggering the Red Raiders here. Mr. Surclaps taking out Ubili. And a really nice first point for UNI. What'd you like there, Deep Sea?
I love how they took control of the point, forced the other team off, and just kind of held it there. Made them take the fight to take the UNI. Worked out really well in their favor, actually.
Yeah, they also kind of divide and conquered there. After Effort went down, you don't really have that dive option available to you. So it's just kind of hammer it from there. But Totoro able to get a pulse bomb kill on Meek. And Effort is going to be a charged monkey. He tried to look in the back line. He's going to go in again. Kiriko trying to use the Kitsune rush to remove Effort. And a really nice series in cycling of ultimates for UNI, able to push back Effort and the Red Raiders from cycling theirs. Dragon Blade comes out now for Ubili. But Mr. Surclaps able to take out the Ana. Ubili able to take out Unlasting. A really good cycling of ultimates here. Roadkill gonna go ahead and use their ultimate as well. Ubili goes down. Effort to take out Totoro. So it's like we're flanking versus flanking, and it's just a bunch of series of one-on-one matchups. UNI coming on top as we might... No, that's going to be a contest by Effort. Nice purple comes out and a nice Ash Dynamite. And two members of UNI quickly go down. Brigitte ultimate coming out for Amino. Haven't been saying their name much as they play the Brigitte very well. Able to sustain a lot into the support there. So UNI, who had it down to about 2.5 meters, able to, I guess, get pushed back with 2:15 left to play in point two. UNI looking for an answer here.
That was a really good recontest from Northwestern, I think. Coming in a little staggered, just still making it work.
Orbital Ray comes out. UNI trying to push at the distance. Will be contested again by Meek, Effort, and Ubili. 150 left to play. Meek down to 20 HP. Gonna have to deal with XNL, but the torpedoes finally gets him. Wraith comes out for Mr. Surclaps, and here comes the charged monkey. Able to get one in Mr. Surclaps. Roadkill, though, able to get the pull on Van Chuno. And UNI, again, just getting these equal trades, which seem to be benefiting them. However, they have yet to to push it the distance, but Meek with a double kill. And UNI, again, getting a little staggered here. But Roadkill's going to come in with a late commit on the JQ ult to get the kill confirm on Ubili. And here comes the rage now for Effort. Again, trying to stagger UNI with less than a minute to play. Only 2.9 meters to push.
I think the JQ ult came out very late and onto a kill that was already almost guaranteed. Possibly a bit of a misplay there. It did definitely guarantee a kill, but I don't know if Ubili would have already just died anyway.
Seconds remaining.
Here they are. Get ready.
Yeah, I completely agree there. I feel like the Red Raiders are getting a lot of value from their ultimates, and it's doing exactly what they need to do. But Kitsune Rush comes out from UNI. They got less than 15 seconds to go, and already 2 members of both teams go down. Less than 7 to play. You have to deal with Effort if you're UNI. They commit the ultimate by Mr. Circlaps. No can do, but XNL able to pick up Ubelly. Overtime ticks over. Effort is going to be boosted as well. Again, it's the stagger sustain of this Northwestern team that's just been so beneficial here on point 2. Kitsune Rush now comes out for Northwestern. And the Blade! They're cycling through all the ultimates as overtime ticks over. Finally, one member of UNI goes down. Has to fight on point, and UNI can't find the answer. 4 members go down. That's a team kill. And Deep Sea, we know the distance that Northwestern has to push.
0 to 1.
I think this next round will be very interesting. We're going to see a lot of effort put into just holding that first cap from UNI.
Yeah, what'd you think UNI wasn't able to do? Why they couldn't get that last 2.9 meters
UNI
pushed?
did
What do you think
not-
their issue was?
They did not have an answer for the Ana in the backline, who was able to just pocket their Winston the entire time. Effort staying alive for the longest of times, not able to get that kill. Overtime ticking down, making it so that they can't leave card anymore. They can't leave payload. No one's able to go actually deal with their supports in the backline, healing them, making it very difficult to ensure that kill.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, too, is that Foncuno and Amino able to be such a thorn in UNI's side just by being there and sustaining, effort and Ubelly. And the biggest thing is that as a support player, if you're not dying early and you're able to get the heals where you need to, that's so effective. And I feel like, and I hate to say this as a UNI commentator, but in Lasting and XNL, not doing, they're getting picked early, and I feel like that's the struggle.
I definitely would agree with you there.
Now Roadkill gonna be on the Diva. Haven't seen Diva much in the regular season from this UNI squad. Maybe that's gonna be a focus down as Effort's gonna go ahead and pounce on the top side where UNI was. Meek able to go ahead and get an overclock kill on XNL. However, Roadkill able to take out Ubili. And Meek able to take out Unlasting as well. Sojourn, for the last handful of patches, has just been devastating in the competitive scene.
It is impossible to avoid that character in almost any comp lobby now. You're always gonna
Yeah,
see it.
absolutely. As Roadkill's finally going to go down, and just Effort and Meek just kind of dividing and conquering UNI here. Of course, UNI played a bit spread. I feel like communication isn't at its peak right now for UNI. What do you think, Deep Sea?
I think I'd probably have to agree with you there. I'm seeing a lot of trust come out of Northwestern's team when it comes time to stay on point, leave on point, people jumping off, diving back on. Effort and Ubili are working very well together actually. in terms of UNI communication, I don't think they're talking just enough.
All right, first point secured, and effort again going to be with the charged monkey. Able to find one and unlasting and gets away scot-free for it. He's going to still fight on the front line. Roadkill, though, switching to the hazard. And Meek going to overclock. Finds one! Looking for another one on top of the little high-rise space. And UNI going to have to deal with Northwestern now on this second floor, which is also very dangerous. Oh, and a big stagger. Totoro going down to Meek. And a really nice situational play there as UNI was kind of trapped out there. Mr. Sirclaps now, he's going to go ahead and be boosted by the unlasting. And UNI trying to find answers here. Just can't quite get it done. As XNL is going to go ahead, have beat in the back pocket. He's going to use it here for the Kitsune rush and the blade. Totoro, though, able to find one with the pulse bomb. Jubilee able to take out Mr. Sirclaps and Totoro and XNL. Jubilee coming in late. And UNI gonna have to have Mr. Roadkill sustained from here. However, he can't. And second point will go in favor of Northwestern College.
Play of the game.
Can definitely see some strong evidence of really good comment, really good practice. They've definitely been in situations like this from Northwestern JV. I feel like a lot of their dive comps on both attack and defense are working very well together.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here is that they are able to split UNI, and then especially Meek and Effort will then focus fire whoever they single out, whether that's a squishy, whether that's Roadkill, whether that's a support member. Effort and Meek and this Red Raiders team doing a great job as, like you mentioned, comms. Now, UNI, what they need to do is focus and get the call-outs, play as a team, because they're getting separated very easily, and it's very evident that UNI gets picked early and they can't go in down a member every team fight like we especially saw in Nubani there.
Definitely. And I think
so. Now, as we,
I'm terribly sorry. I think the ban on Caliseo is a little targeted towards UNI DPS.
Yeah, I almost wonder if they went back and watched our VODs as well, because Caliseo is usually their bounce back game, especially for Totoro playing the Widow or the Hanzo. So the other choices that we would have on a push map would be Esperanza, New Queen Street, or Runasapi. And the pick will be New Queen Street. What's your thoughts on that, Deepsy?
I think I like the pick on New Queens. I feel like if they run the hyper-aggressive tank, they're able to keep it sustained, keep our supports alive. It should work well. Swapping out Doomrad for Unlasting is interesting here, and I think it should work well. But just, I think their biggest ally here is just going to keeping our supports alive, making sure their supports are not in the fight.
Yeah, and I wonder if maybe UNI gets real aggressive here, does like some kind of experimental, for them, dive composition, and go with like the Winston, the Kiriko, the Juno. I would love to see Unlasting on the DPS spot, go back to the Genji, because I feel like they could get a lot of value here on Genji, especially when you're dealing with Meek, who is typically playing Ashe or Sojourn. So if you can kind of negate one of those players by diving with Genji, I feel like that's pretty valuable. Same thing with diving on the Ana as well. Because like you've mentioned, Deep Sea, the back line has been virtually untouched all series long for this Northwestern team. And I feel like that might be the calling card for UNI.
I do hope they're going to be able to turn some things around. I hope they're going to be able to see that those kind of mistakes going on and kind of correct them, see if they can work some magic on New Queens.
Absolutely. So go ahead, put a Go Cats in the chat. Hopefully UNI can go ahead and get a reverse sweep here. It would be the third quarterfinal match to go into a Game 5 if UNI is able to basically win out from here. But it has to start here, and it has to be on New Queen Street. Gonna be thinking about the compositions. Would love to see Roadkill back on the Ramatra.
Ready for battle.
And that's exactly what we see. We see Mr. Circlaps on the Genji, Totoro on the Sojourn, Doomrad on the Brigitte, and XNL on the Juno.
You don't have to.
Meek and Ubili gonna go on the Tracer Genji, Effort on the Winston, and Van Kuno on the Lucio, Amino on the Kiriko. Gonna be game, set, match for Northwestern, the number 1 seed, if they can go ahead and close it out here. Really interested to see how this is gonna set the tone here on the first team fight. And already Meek in the back line, so that's gonna be a factor as well. But Roadkill able to take out Amino, but Ubili able to take out Totoro. It's gonna be a 4v4 on point as the bot unlocks. Effort has to work around Roadkill. Has to bounce back, or bounce out. But Doomrad able to take out Ubili. But Mr. Circlaps goes down as well to Meek. So far even play here. UNI will be the first one to get the first ticks over. However, Effort's going to go ahead, dive right back in, and UNI has to back away from that. As Doomrad goes down in a very nice stagger for this Northwestern team. Meek will go ahead, try and focus down Totoro. Ubili picks it up, and Ubili gets 2. UNI on the back heel, as so far they haven't found an answer for any of the dive compositions for Northwestern. And with that, Roadkill will go down as well. And like a hot knife through butter, Northwestern pushing the bot forward.
Getting staggered very early on is not doing too well for UNI. A solid regroup might be what they need. Push maps, however, kind of tend to be a little bit of a snowball.
Yeah, and already 2 members go down, make that 3 as Meek and Effort again just kind of fighting in the backline, doing whatever they want. Get rid of the sustain and the support for Roadkill, focus fire on Roadkill, and they have the answers too to Totoro and Mr. Circlaps again, trying to mirror the flanking composition, but it's all for naught because they're always going to have a plus member going into it.
Roadkill is playing a little far from the supports, I think, and that's kind of enabling Meek and Ubili to just kind of run right through them.
I completely agree too, and Totoro's not getting a lot of value on the Tracer either, usually like good for a pick, but not securing any of the kills. And again, just like you mentioned, Deep Sea, just the cycling and the over pushing of Roadkill has been really difficult. Ubili able to take out Doomrad, and UNI is going to have 4 of the 5 ultimates available to them. Maybe get the answer here. Would love to see an initiation from either Doomrad or Roadkill. Kitsune Rush. Kitsune Rush going to go ahead, force on point. Beat comes out as well as a response to UNI. Meek able to take out Doomrad. Roadkill Gonna go ahead and do Annihilation. He's gonna see if he can get some value here. Finds two. Roadkill trying to take this game into his own hands. And Rally comes out for Doomrat. Maybe this is the snowball that UNI is looking for, as Roadkill is gonna be overextended all the way back to the central point, and a really nice ult usage for UNI. Sorry, I interrupted you, Deepsea.
No, you are quite all right. I was about to start predicting the ults that were coming out, and they already started coming out before I even started the sentence.
Roadkill able to take out Cancho. Oh my goodness, I'm butchering his name. Sorry. And Jubilee gonna go ahead, find one with the blade. Gonna get Roadkill down low, has to reflect, and he will go ahead and get back out. Meek able to take out Totoro as well. So UNI, even though they're pushing the distance, still gonna get a couple staggers here, and they yet to have reached the forward spawn.
I feel like Jubilee's doing very well with their blades, their dashes in and out. They know what they can do. They don't go above their limits. They take the safe option every time. They wait for Brig to use their abilities, and they go right for him immediately after.
Amino able to take out XNL, so... Oh, and a double kill! Amino getting hot with the Kitsune, or excuse me, with the kunai knives. Totoro trying to get the answer as well, however, for not, as 3 more members of UNI go down, and it's just like a snowball effect, like you say, Deep Sea. Just one early pick, and just like that, the whole team of UNI goes down. I have yet to see a team kill for the side of UNI. That also has to be a factor in today's games as well.
I definitely see an early pulse bomb coming out. There it is. Yep.
Oh, and a nice one on Doomrad. Orbital Ray comes out, tries to initiate for UNI. However, 3 members quickly go down for UNI. And the Panthers just doing an excellent job. Or, well, I thought trying to get an excellent job on getting the response here in the mid-fight. However, Effort able to kind of play freely with that Winston there and dive the squishies. And not that far left to push for the robot for Northwestern, trying to continue their playoff spell here. UNI on the back heel as 2 more members go down. Roadkill with his Annihilation. Won't be able to use it. He goes down. Beat comes out to maybe secure it for the Red Raiders. Northwestern trying to make something happen. Push the bot the distance with 3:05 left to play. Meek with the pulse bomb. And with 2 more, here comes UNI and Blade. Roadkill answer here. Able to get a couple kills, and Mr. Circlops on the Genji, finally getting a double kill and trying to snowball back in favor of UNI.
Definitely an interesting pulse bomb there, but I do believe it's thrown out, so the swap will come right after. Trying to get some value out of ults before they disappear.
Yeah, because I think that's another thing where UNI really, excelled, especially in game 1. However, we haven't seen the rest of the series, is that ult cycle usage. But here, Doomrad's going to go ahead, try and get the bot on point. And a really nice play off the side room, able to capture the bot out, and now Northwestern out of position.
Getting rid of forward spawn is going to be key for them here.
Kill able to pick up the Lucio. And UNI still trying to get the bot pushed. However, Effort able to get the double kill.
there anything that you're seeing that they're doing particularly well, or you feel like some minor improvements could be made on in the last minute and a half to go?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that UNI needs to do is they need to play around roadkill and then basically focus fire on either Jubilee or get the reactive play on Meek. Like right there, Meek able to pick out Doomrad because he was spread out. He was away from the team, and because of that, not playing so close together, you're not able to get the quick response that you need. And already Jubilee gonna go ahead, take out Totoro with 48 seconds left to go. Roadkill though, trying to get the answer with the Annihilation. He finds one, he's gonna try and look for another, and he does. He finally takes out Effort. And again, I feel like it just comes down to the ult usage for UNI, and whoever gets the most value from it wins, because you're not dealing with the flankers, you're not dealing with Effort's mobility. It's just gonna have to come down to ult usage if UNI wants to win here. And with 15 seconds left to go, they're gonna be confined to the robot, which is also gonna be a limiting factor in a tall order for UNI. Dragon comes out for UNI. Kitsune rush for Northwestern. Meek able to take out XNL. Effort taking out Doomrad. Overtime ticks over. Effort able to take out Mr. Circlaps as well. He's going to go ahead, dive into the back line. Totoro goes down, leaving just Roadkill. He's going to be focus fire down as well. And as overtime slowly ticks down, it is going to be a 3-0 series victory for Northwestern College JV.
Play of the game.
Definitely a very good show from the #1 seed there.
Yeah.
Just doing what they're doing best. UNI put up a fight. I feel like they definitely knew what they can do, what they couldn't do, what to improve on. They were trying to make the swaps, trying to do what they know. Just unfortunately wasn't quite enough today.
Yeah, and I think UNI should still keep their heads held high. They had some really good individual moments that they played through. Of course, big shout out to Roadkill. Got a couple Annihilation plays. Some bio grenades came out in some critical moments there on the first point for Samoa. And of course, a couple Bob placements by UNI's DPS, able to go ahead and a couple good picks out. However, just they weren't able to string it all together. And, you know, again, like you mentioned, Deep Sea, Northwestern really showing why they're the #1 seed.
Certainly. I mean, our Panthers played very well, but just unfortunately wasn't quite enough tonight. I feel like they definitely should keep their heads held high, just like you said. Hopefully looking to improve over the next couple of weeks and off season.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest thing too, is that you're going to get a new composition. Vandium, who is the coach, will graduate, so we're going to be looking at a new coach as well, if he decides not to come back and coach the team. And
I believe some new players as well. I think XNL is graduating. I don't know too much about everyone, what their plans are for the next season.
Yeah. So basically for those players, you know, get into the off season, start grinding it out, you know, go out for tryouts, and it's a new season. Unfortunately, UNI, it wasn't the result what they wanted this season. However, they did make the playoffs, which is, you know, an effort and an achievement of itself, which they should be really proud of, because there's 8 other teams in Central A and B that didn't get in. So you got to hang your hat on that. However, just, you know, it's a tall order today, playing against a 6-1 team, #1 in the entire playoffs. It's difficult. It's always difficult.
Certainly.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up here, Deep Sea?
None for me. I'd just say I'm proud of our Panthers.
Absolutely, and thank you for joining us very last minute. I know our typical prod wasn't able to make it, so thank you for hopping in here on very short notice.
Absolutely, no worries.
All right, so go ahead and do exclamation point Guardian or exclamation. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna butcher my final call of the frickin' do exclamation point merch. That'll take you to our Guardian Pro line where we have a decent selection of t-shirts, hoodies, and fully customizable jerseys where you can rep the Panthers on and off campus. So if you want to support UNI Panther Esports, do exclamation point merch and support your UNI Panthers. So for Deep Sea, UNI will fall in a 3-0 sweep against the number 1 seeded Northwestern College JV. Their season, or UNI season, will end today, and we will now look forward to the fall 2025 season. Northwestern will play on April 4th against Saginaw Valley Esports Red. That matchup will be at 7:30 on April 4th. So thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, UNI not getting what they wanted out of it, but nonetheless, we will be back next semester. So for everyone here on the UNI production crew, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next season. And like always, go Cats.